I think a lot of people just kind of hate Mr. Beast. And to be honest, I'm not sure why. Today, the guy is being canceled once again for an act of charity. It's crazy. I mean, the dude's videos are all one of three things. Basically, a game show, some kind of charity work, or something to fund the game shows and charity work. It's honestly a lot. Imagine if Steve Harvey had to pay the Family Feud contestants out of his own pocket and then fund some food banks on top. I'm sure he makes a lot of money, but I don't think he'd be able to do that. Mr. Beast is something new. We've never had a celebrity who does what he does and manages to keep a pretty clean public image of himself as well, to the point that he's honestly not a bad role model for kids these days, though it seems like he works literally 18-hour days to keep it all up. So to be honest, it doesn't seem like he has a lot of free time to do dumb stuff, and something about that really bothers people. For some reason, every time Mr. Beast does something that pretty much everyone can agree is a good act, he gets criticized. And this time, it's worse than before. You might remember a few weeks back when people were mad at Mr. Beast because he decided to pay for people to have corrective eye surgeries for one of his videos, literally improving people's lives in a way that no one who hasn't experienced it can even imagine. And they tried to cancel him for it. Well, this time I think it's arguably worse than that, because this time they are trying to cancel him for donating 20,000 shoes to African children. That's right, they're upset that he gave shoes to kids in Africa that couldn't afford them on their own. I think it's important that we take a second to think about this. Like, really consider it. There are kids in a foreign country that have to walk to get to school. The infrastructure isn't that great there to begin with. And for kids that live in rural communities and have to walk for miles to get to school, that means walking on rocks, dirt, in tall grass, along the sides of roads, all areas where you can easily cut your foot open, whether it's on a sharp rock or on a piece of trash or on some broken glass. And they do this pretty much every day just to get to school barefoot. So something as simple as shoes can make a huge difference in the lives of these kids. And people are mad at Mr. Beast for donating 20,000 pairs of shoes to these kids. How inhumane do you have to be upset about that? Case in point, a Twitter user and self-proclaimed Twitch affiliate named Upward Boss openly criticized Mr. Beast on Twitter by saying people praising things like this, like "good guy Mr. Beast," and ignore the reality that he makes a profit from these types of videos. This isn't really charity. Now, Mr. Beast responded to this, but first, let's just take a second to realize how absolutely brain dead you would have to be to have this take. To say this isn't charity. Does it really matter if Mr. Beast was to make money off of this? No, it doesn't. And why doesn't it? Well, because he's still giving these kids their shoes either way. He's still drastically improving their quality of life. That's charity. I think that if you care about someone's motives and not their actions, you're missing the point. And to say that something isn't an act of charity when it's undertaken for your own gain is wrong, as long as it actually improves other people's lives. It's charity regardless of what happens to you. But it turns out that this guy was extra brain dead in his take, since the video was posted on the Beast Philanthropy channel. Actually, I'll let Mr. Beast explain it. He replied, "No hate, you prob just haven't seen this channel, but it actually is a charity, and I obviously don't profit from it. 100% of all revenue from Beast Philanthropy goes towards running my food banks and helping ease human suffering. And since inception, I've personally put in millions into Beast Philanthropy. That's the whole point. Make content around helping people to generate more money to help more people." Yeah, Mr. Beast Philanthropy channel is run by his charity, meaning that all the profits from the video go back into the charity itself as a partial self-funding mechanism. Like I said earlier, this is a new thing, something that wasn't really possible 10 years ago. So maybe it's reasonable that people wouldn't understand that. But as I mentioned, even if he was making money off of it directly, I wouldn't have a problem, considering he's still helping people at no cost to themselves. This whole argument boils down to whether or not it's ethical to film people who are in poor conditions while trying to do something that can help them. And let me let you in on a secret. People who are suffering, like really suffering, they don't care at all if someone is going to make a quick buck while helping them out. As long as someone helps them ease their suffering, they're not going to complain. These aren't soft people. Tough times build tough people. And I will note that I've not seen any people from the video complain, just people in America who are, in their own right, immensely wealthy compared to almost all humans who have ever existed. I think that the reason people criticize Mr. Beast over stuff like this actually has little or nothing to do with the actual people that these critics accuse Mr. Beast of exploiting. These people are just tools. Really, they're upset over politics, because for some reason, at some point in the last 10 years, everything became political. To be honest, Mr. Beast is everything people who are anti-capitalist don't want someone to be. Mr. Beast is a capitalist, a businessman, a celebrity, and he does very public and very successful acts of charity. That's bad news for the anti-capitalist folks who would rather Mr. Beast fit into their strongman argument about how all rich people are awful and mean and hate the poor, because that's how they see the world. If you see capitalism as bad, and that's one of your core beliefs, something that no amount of information can change for you, then Mr. Beast is a contradiction. You can't square him with your view of wealthy capitalists. He disproves your belief, and you can't take that. So probably subconsciously, you make him into a bad man. You push those straw man arguments onto him in hopes that it will continue to reinforce your black and white worldview. The problem is that nothing is really black and white in the real world. Everything is shades of gray. There are of course some more substantive reasons put forward as to why Mr. Beast doing charity is bad. Well, at least more substantive than filming them is exploitation. But they're all the same at their core, just ideologues looking for their next battle. For instance, one argument that I keep seeing is that Mr. Beast's shoe donation is bad because when someone like him comes in and donates lots of one item, it wrecks the local economy for that item. Like the local shoemakers are going to starve because now no one needs to buy shoes. Think about that for a second. I mean, really think about it and tell me in the comments why that's a dumb argument. No skipping ahead? Have you done it? Okay, well, these children did not have shoes before Mr. Beast showed up. That was the entire point, to give shoes to the shoeless. Now explain to me how it will affect the shoemaker if people who did not have shoes and therefore were not actually buying shoes suddenly have shoes. You can't, because that's not how it works. These kids were not part of the shoe market. They were not going to buy shoes. Therefore, the shoemaker cannot expect a net loss in his shoe sales, since his actual paying customers would not have received these free shoes, since they already had shoes. Even if there was some amount of kids that had the money to buy shoes and just hadn't yet, what knock-on effect would that really have on the local economy? Virtually none. Since the poverty is so rampant in these communities, it's likely that the money they'd have spent on local-made shoes will still enter the local economy in some other way, like buying food. They're not exactly going to a Walmart in these communities. Most things they buy would be bought from another local. So again, that's just another case of someone trying to figure out a way, and failing, to make an argument that what Mr. Beast did was bad. It doesn't matter if it actually makes sense or not, given some amount of thought, but rather that it helped them keep their worldview unquestioned. To be honest, I didn't really mean for this video to get so in the weeds on people's worldviews, but it had to happen. I'd like to say this. If you find yourself in a spot where you think that there is nothing that can change your view of the world, you need to open your mind, because everyone is wrong about something. Like I said earlier, nothing is either good or bad, and you can't live your life thinking that way, whichever side you might find yourself on. So basically, no, what Mr. Beast did isn't bad. It's a charity and a good act, regardless of his motives. Though in this case, since the profits went directly to his charity, his motives were good too. It's just people canceling him because they can't believe that someone who is so evil in their eyes can do an act of good. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe as well. Have a great day, and God bless you.